Hey everybody, it's Elizabeth Haslett from Silver Nest Homeschool, mom of 4. I've been doing this for about 11 years now, and I just want to share some tips and tricks, things that worked well, things that didn't work well, how we can help you have a much better homeschooling experience than we had, and to give you some encouragement to say, you can do this. I was a reluctant homeschooler who found myself in a situation that just one of obedience. You step into some things that you didn't think you could do and you find you can. But one of those tools for me personally was the 5 in a row curriculum. I called my sister and said, hey, I get to homeschool. What do I need? And thankfully she had done it before, and she handed me Matthew C, 5 in a row, and Explode the Code. And that's what we ended up using for the first 3-4 years of our homeschooling, and it worked out great. It's a wonderful foundation. We're seeing the fruit of it now with our kids loving books and loving new things. And so I just wanted to show you what I did when I needed to get a book that I wanted to use to teach the kids in those early years. I have a couple videos on the 5 in a row. One is on our favorite books that we used at home, and the other one is just my explanation of what 5 in a row is and how you can use any book you want to integrate into that program. If you want to buy the curriculum, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great too. I just found that there were some areas that it didn't cover that I wanted to expand. So I used what they had minus a couple books, and then I just added in some more once I figured out the formula. So these are books that I would use to also go with the formula. We have used them in our curriculum, and I went back and actually ordered them from the library just for you so that you can see some of them and then what we did with them. I'm going to go pretty quick. It's not too big of a stack, but I wanted to say that 5 in a row is this idea that you read the same book Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you use that book to study every subject. So you're going to do some hands-on math, some hands-on English, or not English, but like language arts, some hands-on art, hands-on science, hands-on social studies. You can put history, geography, people, all of that underneath the social studies. Emotions, all of that falls into social studies. So first example is The Pumpkin Runner. Sorry about the glare. And it's by Marcia Diane Arnold, and then pictures by Brad Sneed. And that's important because the art, what you do for the art is you study the kind of art that was made to create the book, and then if you want to, you can actually find that same art style and then practice it with your kids. Or you can practice something like drawing pumpkins, which was a great project for this particular one because pumpkins are not that hard. If you need help learning how to draw something, YouTube is full of kid art shows where you can just all of you try together. And I'm a big fan of everybody trying together, not worrying so much about the product, but the process. The other thing we learned about was pumpkins in general and how they grew, but it's set in Australia. It's a super funny story about running. And so you can go for a run. You can time yourself. How fast are you? How slow are you? What would make it harder or easier for you to run? And then you could also learn about dingoes, which is a kind of dog that he domesticated this dog. And so just talks a lot about geography of Australia. And then you have, of course, the language arts. Now, language arts is really, we were already using that other phonics, Explode the Code for that. But the whole idea for the language arts could be anything from alliteration. So they're looking for words that have that la, 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 you know, the same kind of pumpkin runner. So you would look for words that started with like pumpkin pie man, you know, pumpkin pie. Or you might be looking for personification where and non-animated object like Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel, that Marianne, she is basically alive, but she's not alive, she's a machine. And so you're looking for personification, or maybe you're looking for creative new vocabulary words. And so your kids hear a word they don't know and you all look it up in the dictionary, and then you can draw a picture of what that word means and write the word on the other side. You could use it for your spelling. You could go through and just highlight how sentence structure works, point out all the nouns. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's one day, you're reading the same book, and so you could go through and say, all right, is this runner, is this a noun or a verb? Or so just going over the basics of what you're already teaching. All right. This one is probably my absolute favorite, my Rows and Piles of Coins. If you can read this for any curriculum you're already using or just for fun, I highly recommend it. It's all about a boy in Africa who is trying to save up for a bicycle, and he's working very, very hard. And the inflation for their country means that he has this huge pile of coins and this is his dad's coat. Sorry, my camera and I just don't seem to want to show you the picture. Watercolor. So of course, here's all his coins that he's adding up. And it's all about how he finally gets a bike through some interesting circumstances. He works super hard. And so I really like that for my kids, teaching them all about hard work and does pay off. And as soon as he meets his goal, he sets another goal, again, so you've got bicycle repair or learning how to ride a bike or the mechanics of how to ride a bike. You can pull up a YouTube video on the physics of why the bike stays up and doesn't fall over. Geography or social, you can always talk about social studies. You can also talk about Africa. You can talk about how his life is different than your life and what's same about your life, that kind of thing. So yeah, lots of great stuff for my rows and piles of coin. All right. And we have the unstoppable Garrett Morgan. This man invented some of the firefighting protective equipment that has kept people alive, and the ideas that he came up with has only been improved on. But he was so amazing, and his story is so inspiring. And so this is a great one for like second, third graders. We still use picture books now, by the way. Just because somebody's gotten older doesn't mean that the picture book is no longer valuable. If the information is great and the story is inspiring, you can still pull a lot from it. So we actually read this book just maybe 3 years ago for one of the other units we were doing. So I highly recommend this one here. It's written by Joan D-I-C-I-C-C-O. DeCicco? Anyway, love this story. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. Ice Cream Man, another really inspiring one. This is about a guy who brought ice cream to the masses. True story, biography. Love biographies for 5 in a row. And I love the artwork on here too. And so how Augustus Jackson made a sweet treat better. Yeah, good stuff. By Gwenda Armand and Kim Freeman. This one has a lot of fun. You can actually make your own ice cream because it's back in the day where he figured out how to add the rock salt that makes it go faster. So if you have any kind of way of making ice cream or going out for ice cream when you're finished or trying different flavors, or why does it sugar and the sweet flavors actually need to be stronger in ice cream than they are in other things, because when things get cold. So you can talk about cold, warm, all those kinds of fun things. So yes, we like Ice Cream Man. And then the last one I have for today is The Boy Who Grew a Forest by Sophia Goals, illustrated by Kayla Harren, Harren. Like this artwork. This is a true story too, but they started out, you don't really know it's a true story, and it's all about a boy who decides to plant some bamboo on an island that is being eroded away in India in the 70s, and he cares for it for the next 30, 40 years. And all the animals that come back, all the things he plants, all the hard work he does to water everything. If you ever read The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, this is kind of a similar, shorter story than that. But in the end, back at the very back, of course, they have a little biography of what truly happened. The artwork is beautiful. Really recommend this one if you're wanting to study India, if you're wanting to study erosion, if you're wanting to study the cultivation, if you're trying to inspire your kids to go water their plants, this one is a great one. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I know it's kind of plethora of things that we've used in the past, but libraries are great. Libraries are great for finding things that you want to explore and try. And the way that we do it is I go and I order all the books, and then I bring them home and I preview them all down to the ones we're actually going to use. And anytime I did a unit study, I would then pick a topic, order all the books I could get, and bring it down to the amount that we really wanted to read. And then, maybe give the kids some bonus if they went into the pile of the things I wasn't going to read out loud to them. Picture books are great. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was interesting. If nothing else, inspiring to go grab some new things from the library to read with your kids. And remember, you're doing a great job. This is a learning curve for everyone. As long as you're learning, as long as they're learning, and as long as there's progress being made, you're doing great. Okay, keep it up. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.